Okie dokie. So we are just going to jump into our little mountain scene today. Mountains and water. Let's see. Doobly doobly doo. We're working on a 12 by 16 today. I'm going to blend this down towards the horizon. We'll blend it out more smoothly in a little bit, but for now, I'm just going to put some color out there. Go grab a little bit of purple. Drop that out here too. Thinking we're doing something maybe a little dusky. Changing of the time. I'm gonna grab the teeniest little bit of black, which you might be questioning, but it's just going to darken this purple out here a little bit. Make it a little bit different from the color we have on the other side. So, oh, well, hello, Mr. Frog. So, you're just gonna sneak in. I saw you. If you're watching though, why don't you go ahead and drop a hi, hello, let me know what time it is near you. It's a little past 8 over here in the Midwest. So, we're just going to clean dry brush. It's still a 2-inch brush, it's just a clean one. Just kind of blend. These colors so that they are nice and softer. We're not seeing a super clear, this color starts here, this color starts there. We want a nice clean transition, ideally. Samesies. Oklahoma, nice. There is, holy cow, 20 people in here. I've barely done anything. But we are not wasting any time today. We are going to jump right into some clouds. And we might even throw a moon out there. We'll see. We're going to do some little mountain scene, a little bit of water, 12 by 16. We're going to see. Goal is to kind of keep it simple. And this week we're doing nothing but little pieces. 31 guacamole. We're doing a lot of little pieces this week because I have an art show coming up and I need some more smaller ones. So, here we're going to be doing little bitty paintings. Well, not too small. 12 by 16 are actually a really nice size, in my opinion. So. Oh, good evening, Ryan Butterfly. How you doing? I see Susie Q and several others have joined. Thank you. Welcome. If you're here, just drop a hi. Join the conversation. I'm just cleaning off a 1-inch oval brush so I can start blending out my clouds. Well, cloud for now, but there will be more. Tap the screen, drop a comment, let everyone know you're here. It was a good weekend. How about yourself? So far, so good. I'm waist deep in show prep at the moment, which there's probably a lot more to that than you might think. There's like certificates, there's packing things, making sure what inventory, paintings and stuff I have can be transported safely. If it's updating, I have a Square platform I need to update for processing payment specifically. That's really all I use it for, is just being able to take payment for my paintings. Making sure all the prices make sense. It's a whole lot of stuff. So that's kind of what I've been doing, is just making sure I have all my ducks in a row as much as I possibly can before I take off to the show on Thursday, which, important for anyone who's a regular here, I will not be doing a Thursday show this week because I will be at the show. It's just prep day. The actual show is Friday and Saturday, but I do need that prep day Thursday, so I will not be able to do a live on Thursday. But I should be here. In fact, I know I will be on Sunday. So today is obviously pretty sure Sunday. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is where I will be here this particular week. So there's much going on while I take these little clockwise blending motions for my 1-inch oval brush, which is really my favorite blending brush when it comes to clouds. It's not the only one I use, but it is definitely my favorite. Delightful. Making sure to clean the excess darkness off my fan brush in between clouds. And we're gonna throw one, maybe two more clouds up there, decide on a moon, and we're gonna get right into the mountains. That's what we are going to do today. So it's going to come down like so. And as much as you want to be careful not to over blend your clouds, I also like to kind of purposely leave some spaces even when I'm just dropping in my color, which I think just helps me remind myself that the spaces are good. It can't be all bright, it can't be all dark. You need both. You can add paint a heck of a lot easier than you can remove it. Oh, hello, Odin. I was wondering if you're going to pop in. I'm a little late. That's all right. It is okay. I'm not exactly over here with a stopwatch wondering when everyone's going to show up. But it is pleasant to see familiar faces. Or names, I suppose. I don't actually know what you guys look like. Other than your little profile picture. Feels like I know you though, to some degree. You know, it is a strange and beautiful place. I'm going to add a tiny little, just like a little add-on to this cloud here. I just want like a little boop boop. Boop, 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 boop. And why don't we ask the chat here? Why don't you guys sound off in the comments? Should we put a little moon right there? Yay or nay? Should we put a little moon kind of right there hanging out in our little cloud-filled sky? Since it's dusky, my bet is on that we would be able to see the moon. It's always there. And I think you'd be able to see it right now. Should we put it out there? I haven't decided. So I'm seeing what you guys think. What do you guys think? We're going to put little whispers down there, which may or may not stay visible with the addition of the mountains. We'll find out. So, I don't see anyone commenting on whether we should do a moon or not. And I might just do one. Oh, there we go. Think a moon would be cool. We have a vote for the moon. I'm going to clean off the necessary brush to do that. So if you've got an opinion, throw it out there now. We've got one vote for moon. Just got to do a little brush cleaning. This is pretty easy. I'll check my blending brush too. Easy little technique to do a moon. I think so anyway. So. Bear with me for a moment while I give you guys the time to contemplate your responses. I need 2 brushes for this. For sure 1, probably 2. A half moon. Half moon might be a little trickier for this particular technique. Not impossible, but trickier. I could do like a partial moon, not like a full circle, but like a, oh, one of those other shapes the moon does. I can't figure out my words right now. Oh, like a waning or a waxing moon, I think is what I'm thinking of. There we go. That's nice and soft. Alrighty. So let's see. We need a little bit of just titanium white. I might even just grab the tiniest little bit of blue. But there's already blue in the sky, so it would be like next to none. You want the least little bit. You don't even technically have to have any blue in your white. But if you're going to have some, it'll be like just an itty bitty little bit. So we have moon. So we're going to come up here, and I think I'm going to put it right there. And this is why I said it might be a little difficult to do a half moon with the particular technique I have planned for today. But it probably won't be a perfect full moon either. It could be, but I am about to soften it with my other brush. Which is why I need to kind of tap away that excess paint from there. And then very gently, barely touch it. Barely touch it. This is a big blendy brush. We don't need the whole thing. Barely even the edge. We're just gonna like little back and forth, crisscrossy. You can do a couple little circly bits. You don't have to blend it away, but it is going to soften that up, kind of take some of that excess texture off that you don't really need. So then you can kind of come back in just a little bit and just kind of define that shape that little bit more. It's still soft, it's still not going to be the most powerful thing out there. But that's exactly what we want. You get a cool little moon out in your sky. And I even just one little step further. I'm going to grab a tiny itty bitty bit of purple. And I'm going to put the brushes down that I don't need to be holding. See, I just about lost my palette knife. My other one anyway. Anyway, as I remember to do the thing I'm supposed to be doing. Little bit. A little bit more. I don't know if you guys can actually even see. I'm just trying to make a really light purple. Just so I can kind of come up here and just kind of come up here for just a couple little oh, the technical terms. They're wispy clouds, cirrus clouds, if you want to get technical, which you don't have to when you're painting. But if you were inclined, well, cirrus clouds. And there we go. We popped a moon up there, a couple little purple clouds. Boom, mountain time is what we're about to be doing. So, I am going to take a darker, a bluish color, and then like a slightly darker mountain color for shadow colors, but one at a time. We'll do that kind of darker bluish one first. I'm just going to take some blue and a little bit of black, because this is definitely a closer mountain, but not the closest mountain. And since I want a shadow color and a highlight color for both my mountains, despite them being in different layers, I'm just going to add a little bit of black to my blue. So we are going to come in here, boopity boopity boo. I'll start with like the highest one. I'm going to come in here. So these aren't going to be the most mountainy mountains. I'm keeping this, well, I'm going to keep it as like a softer kind of mountain range. We'll come back here with the 1-inch brush, 1-inch oval, one of those to kind of soften out these shapes, blend it out. Heck, that 2-inch brush would probably work as well, if I'm being honest. Just to kind of get these shapes out here. This is all we really need, is just the shape of the mountain. Which might not seem all that important, but it is. You need the basic shape. Well, I suppose the only exception would be if you're just doing like a really far away mountain. At that point, then it might not be the biggest deal. So, one moment while I clean off all my two 2-inch brushes, we're going to further define this first little mountain range. It'll come together. You'll see. If you stick around. Alright, so we are just going to come in here and pull down. I'm going to stick in one way for now. And then just some of these are going to have to go the other way. So. But since I do kind of want most of these coming this way, that's what we're going to do. And we're not going to worry about that other mountain range until we finish this one. Because we're not there yet. That's the next layer. So, and because this is a background layer, I actually probably have plenty right here. This kind of like little bluish white color. Since I don't want the purest of white for this highlight, I might even grab some of that darkness up there. This is not our closest mountain range. So it has detail, it has highlight. It doesn't have the brightest of bright highlights, is the only thing. Scoop that up. There we go. So I'm going to start probably over here, I think. Would be just dandy. We're just kind of touching and dragging the color down, down, down. Until you run out of color on your palette knife. I've got a little bit left, so. And just a roll of paint on your palette knife. I don't know if the camera's going to get it in a way where you're really going to be able to see it though. pretty. Oh, thank you, Mr. Frog. I can try and show you though. Where you've got just that little bit of roll on your palette knife. And that's what I'm using to just drop in these little kind of highlight colors. The paint's going to break, it's going to move. You're not going to have that highlight color on every single spot on your mountain. And you shouldn't have your highlight color on every single spot on your mountain because it's natural to have shadow spots and light spots. So just kind of light touch, a little bit of jiggle on the way down. Help the paint break. The canvas will take what it wants. And it'll leave the rest. Alright. Brush the darkness off with my 2-inch brush. I don't need a perfectly clean brush for this particular step. I just need it clean enough and dry enough. I just need to have not a ton of paint on it. We're just gonna tappy tap 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 right in the direction of these mountains, softening the base. The mountain is more distinct at the top than it is at the bottom. Just little brush strokes up in the direction that is going. Most of these are coming down this way. So I'm not going to come from the right, I'm going to come from the left because these are coming in from that direction. We're going to blend the rest of this out. And that will probably be a good time to block in some water, but we are going to worry about that a little bit. Because there will be some water, but not before we do our next mountain range. There won't be. Next mountain range, I'm going to have a slightly darker undercolor. I'm going to add a little bit more black to that pile from before and a little bit of red. So, still has the blue in it. I just added a little bit more black and a little bit of red. Probably a little bit more red, honestly, since I want a slightly purplier undercolor. Remember to walk myself back over here. So, and you're probably not even going to really be able to see the difference of this color. It looks black. It's supposed to look black. The only time you're really going to see the difference of the color is when you add a little bit of white to it. Because that's what would make the color seem different. Now the undercolor, when I put it on the canvas, it might be a bit more obvious because it'll be mixing with those undercolors. So, same thing, we're just going to come in here, some basic shapes. Just kind of come in front here. Doesn't have to be the most perfect outline. We'll figure out some of the details when we blend it with the 2-inch brush and soften that out. It comes this way. I know that much. It comes this way. Alrighty? Alrighty. So, boop. This one's gonna come this way, and this comes this way. We're not worried about what's down here yet. Not yet. They'll come. It will come in time. I'll just kind of do one of those things. And bada bing, bada boom. So now I'm just going to take a little bit of blue, a little bit of purple. Come from over here. I know my water's going to start from over on this side. And for now, I'm going to bring it right up here. I know it's going to live in here somewhere. All right, let's get some highlights on here. So, a slightly brighter color than before. I'm gonna add a bit more white to that blue color. Probably a lot more white, because white's not a very strong color. It easily gets overwhelmed by other colors. It takes on those colors very, very easily. But I just felt like I didn't want the purest of white as my highlight color today. And so we're doing a little bit of a bluish tint. So keep the highlight in the same zone. It's on the inside here, it'll be on the inside here. If you run out of paint, go get more. It's easier to add paint than it is to take away. So. Oh, thank you. Art by Rig. Appreciate it. Do try to keep an eye on the chat here. I feel like I do pretty good at most days. And I've got a slightly bluer color here. So it might not be the bluest blue, but it should be a different enough blue that you can kind of come in here and have just a slightly different color coming off the backside there. I don't know, looking pretty mountainy up there, guys. And I do say so myself. Gonna brush the darkness off my 2-inch brush from before. We're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna soften the base. Well, hello, Ken. Welcome. All right. Clean enough, dry enough. Tap, tap, tap. Right in the direction. Towards the bottom. Mountains are more distinct at the top than they are at the bottom. But you don't want to completely erase all that detail either. So it's really just the bottom. Just the bottom. Alrighty. I'm gonna take, let's see here. Probably this brush will do just fine. Or not brush, palette knife. I'm gonna scoop that, put it over there. And I'm gonna take a little bit of that color and come into this color from earlier. So I'm just making kind of a light bluish grayish color. Maybe a little bit more of that darker color. I want this to stand out just enough. Just enough. Against that mountain I just put back there. I'm gonna grab our fan brush and we're going to load it up. I don't know. See how that looks. We're just gonna put some little grassy bits, hillish type bits in here. So why don't we start just distinct enough that you can tell they're there, is really what I'm going for. They are there, but they are not. They're not the most important thing. I'm going to make them maybe a hair lighter, but it's only so you can see them a little bit when they are drying. Come up here. So, like I said, they're not supposed to be the most distinct thing. These are just little faraway bits. That'll just kind of help create a little bit of depth before we go into our next, much closer layer. Obviously these mountains have detail, but they're still technically more of a background element. Or mid-ground might be more technically accurate from using proper words. So, do a couple more little rows of these and then we're going to come into the real up close and personal bits here. So, bada bing, bada boom, same thing, we're just gonna barely bring these up, just shortest little trees or grassy bits you ever did see. Some of them are going to come up more than others, some of them will barely come straight up at all. However tall they end up being is okay. And just towards the bottom, really barely even touching the bottom. Just come across. Soften out that bottom bit there. Helps with the landy bits. And I'm going to clean my 1-inch oval brush. That's what we're going to do now. So I can come and make an undercolor for some of my more closer bushes. Bushes, grass, bits. Beautiful, thank you. Appreciate it. Might have some people questioning my decisions here in a minute though, but hold on to your socks. They'll be fine. It shall be fine, because we're going to come in here. Let's start right there. And work our way down. We're starting to push that stuff back. Back. That's what we're doing. This is a darker shadow color, so that when I add the highlight color, it's going to keep that closeness. Hopefully I'm not too far in front of the camera. If I am, I will move. I kind of wish you guys could yell at me sometimes so I could just get out of your way. Easier said than done. Well and truly. And before the end of this painting, I'm going to need more of this color, and it's inevitable. So, take this, we're going to steal some of this shadow color. Pull it straight down. too much over there. We'll take some from over here. A little bit of a shadowy reflection. We have water down here. That is what we have. And it's our Shadowland. If it's not picture perfect, it's fine. It really, really is. We're going to make a color. What color are we going to make? What color indeed? Let's see. I think I'm going to need a little bit of Van Dyke Brown, which I did not have on my palette. Let's see. Going for an orangish color. Means I need some red, of course. Some yellow, which I've got Indian yellow today. I might need a little bit more yellow than what I initially gave myself. Red is also a powerful color. Although I do believe blue is more of a stronger color than red when it comes to blending colors. I think blue actually overpowers red a bit. The things you end up picking up. It is peculiar, to say the least. Things you learn when you're mixing colors. Let's see. Throw some white in there so I can see what color I've got. Delightful. I love everything about that. Perfect. I'm going to clean off my 1-inch oval brush since that is the brush I want to highlight with. Boop. A little bit more, maybe even throw just a hair more white in. Alrighty. I'm not mixing up this color all the way. I don't want it 100% all the same color. I'll kind of show you. There is various shades in this reddish, orangish, brownish color, as is intended. So, we're gonna just come in here, just touch. Just like with the mountain highlight color, the canvas will take what the canvas wants. It will leave the rest. On the brush, in case you were wondering. So don't force the color to come off in a certain spot if you don't want to. Or if you don't force it to come off if it doesn't initially come off. And if it's not depositing enough paint and you're having to force it, thin your paint out a little bit more. A thin paint sticks to a thick paint. I tend to mix my highlight colors into liquid white, which for me is just linseed oil and titanium white, to a pretty runny mixture. If I poured my container upside down, it would inevitably fall out of my container. Which is not typical if you're familiar with oil paints. But for liquid white, because it's been thinned down, that's what happens. I'm gonna have to scoop up my pile here momentarily. back together. So the more I tap my brush into it, the flatter it gets. Now, this is where we're at. We're obviously not done, but we are ready for some water lines and some trees. Is what we're ready for. Looks amazing. Thank you. Beautiful. Thank you. You guys are very, very nice. As always. So. Come in here. I'm not gonna do like a ton of laying bits back here. Not too much with this particularly far away layer. A little bit closer, it's a different story. A bit closer, like maybe right around here. We can add just a little bit of some dirt, some stuff. A different type of land right up under here. Something a little different, that's all. Do like a little bit right there. Then underneath that color is where I'm going to throw those water lines. So. Well, water lines where I think I'm going to need water lines because too far back and it's not water anymore. That's just going to be future land. So, that, I need the water lines out here. In here. There we go. I'm just gonna a couple little highlighting bits here and there towards the middle. Get a little color in there, here and there. Alright. Let's color around it. Some of that color is going to be reflected into the water. So, water isn't just blue. It's meant to have some color in it. Alrighty. So, I'm going to take a drink of my soda that I have right here because I'm thirsty. And then we're going to add a few trees on either side before rounding out the last little bits of our land. Now would be a good time for those of you who have been here before to start thinking of some titles because titles over here are a group project. We think of titles together, and then I pick one at random. So, drop them in, and in the meantime, I'm going to mix up my tree undercolor. It's the same undercolor that I've been using, especially for these bushes. I just ran out, so I need some more. Blue, black, and crimson. Alizarin crimson. Midnight black. Pretty sure I have phthalo blue today. You can use Prussian blue. It just makes a really dark undercolor. Is the important piece of that information. Plays well with green. All good things. Ends up looking a little purpley underneath the palette. Hopefully that is enough paint for the amount of trees that I plan on making. So I'm going to clean off my fan brush, and we are going to get going on some trees. So, question is, how many? We'll find out. This couple are just going to be kind of a little bit of technical terms, not my favorite. I don't like technical terms. I make up my own terms. These trees are not meant for detail. Highlighting. These ones are just going to be here. So I'm just going to throw out a little. Little trees back there before we get into our really big trees. So, just to help with that illusion of distance. Just a little bit to the left, tapping the edge of your fan brush, a little bit to the right, back and forth. Just making a little bit of, just like the shadow of a tree almost, so you're not looking for all the detail in the world. You're just for kind of a tree shape. Or coming in for that actual bigger tree that's going to live. Let's see. I want one that's shorter, one that's taller, maybe one that's in the middle. So why don't we do the first closer tree? That's going to live right there. Let's see if we have room for the 3 trees I want to put over here. We'll see, okay? We shall see. There should be. And we're going to make these the same way. A little bit to the right, a little bit to the left. Focusing on shape. The highlights and the details come after. I'm going to skip a little bit there, cover up this just a little bit. But I want some exposed trunk here and there. I'm not even going to cover up all of the bottom. So I know it's going to have to come a little bit this way. But we got to bring some of this into land. So, autumn's approach, winter's falling grip, or failing grip, yes. Those are both amazing titles. I will be checking on those from time to time for anyone watching. Titles. And we're gonna throw some trees out here, maybe half dozen or so, and then some land. And that's going to be it today. We'll see how long that ends up taking. That mostly depends on me. So, there's no particular rush. So, maybe we'll do another little branch skip right there. Go with more trunky trees today. I'll have to come in and highlight those. Bring that up just a bit more. Same thing, just kind of taking some of that, start working into some land. So it's going to need some other stuff there. And we'll do this one a little bit different. Like so. Maybe this one is really, really a fuller tree right up until it's not. Or do that one my last. So, we'll just do a couple over here. And we will do doom-ba-da-doom-ba-doom. I really want to just do a really big dead tree on the left side all of a sudden. It's a very strange and very specific urge. There's nothing saying I can't. Well, we're doing it now. Doing it now. You guys are really gonna think I'm off my rocker now. Let's see. Whee! It's fine. Don't worry. I've done this before. Maybe not live though. I don't know if I've actually done this live or not. I can't remember. But I've done this before. So, don't worry. And I know this style tree isn't for everyone. But they're a heck of a lot of fun to paint. You've never painted a big old stick tree. You might want to. They are delightful. So, I know I want to come in here. This part is as intended. All right, we'll come back, we'll highlight some of these bottom bits here. In just a moment. A lot closer to done than you think. So. This, turn that into part of the water. Do that just a little bit right there. Getting good over there. All right. Because I have the color mixed up already, we're gonna highlight our bushes first. Because that's what I have for my highlight color right now. After that, we are going to add some branches to our giant stick out there. So. Keep an eye on that puzzle piece, but it's not here yet. I've got a little drop of white on my brush. It's driving me batty. Brush off some of the excess color there. And I am getting some different colors in these highlighted bits down here. That's mostly because I didn't fully mix my highlight color, which was intentional. I didn't want it all the same color. All right. Wanted some different colors to pop out here and there without really knowing where I would see them. There we go. Now I don't really have yet a green tree highlight color. We're going to ignore that sticky tree for a little bit. Work with me here. All right. I'm just going to take care of those little baby trees in the back. Ain't no thing. Mix up a highlight color, give them some bark. bark on their trees. Alrighty. We're going to touch the brown along the trunk. Wherever I think I might see it. And this little one too. I don't think I'm going to have it go all the way up. It can kind of come a little higher. I'm not going to get rid of that highlighty bark color because I have another big old tree that's going to need, in a little bit, I'm going to need some bark. I also need some branches though, but we'll get there. Alright, one thing at a time. I'm going to highlight these with the corner of my fan brush. A smaller fan brush, might I add, than what I initially used to place them down. I would consider the brush I put my shadow color down to be like a medium brush. But I don't know the technical size of my fan brush per se. But I do know I need to brush my darkness off in between trees. In between highlight sections really, but I did just do the whole tree, so in this case it's in between trees. Just the corner. You can use more of the brush as you get further down the tree. And clean the darkness off. If you don't, you're going to have a lot of shadow color when you go into highlight and you're not actually going to see your highlights. You're just going to see more paint that's not the same color as your tree, but not really light enough to be distinct either. It'll be quite the interesting thing. And you can flip your brush over. It has two sides. So. we're just gonna touch up that little bit. Like so. Alrighty, why don't we'll start with our fan brush, but we're gonna have to thin it out as we go. Because this will be good for some of the initial branches. But it can't be the only thing I use to make my branches. Otherwise, this is gonna get stale. The finer branches, are easier with a, what's it called, liner brush. There we go. Thinking and painting, guys. Thinking and painting. Easier said than done. Easier said than done. So. That one will probably stay a little. Not every branch has to be the same length. They don't all have to be the same shape. Nothing about your branches has to be the same. I'm going to leave that one short too. Alrighty. Just for the sake of kind of coming in here, choosing some of the directions of these. How much of the branch you see on this side of the tree, the tree does have multiple sides, will determine where your brain thinks the branch is coming from. Alright? If you don't see it, or angle helps there too, the brain might assume it's on the closest side to us, or the farthest side. Majestic stream, delightful, love that. So why don't we start coming in here. We're just gonna start touching, adding. Little bark to our tree. There's gonna be quite a bit of texture on this tree. And it's going to be delightful. And it will be added to my Etsy store after the show today. But like I was saying earlier, I do have an art show coming up this weekend. So, if this is something you were thinking that you might like to have in your home, and you don't happen to live in the North Dakota area and are familiar with the big one, because that's where I will be, you might want to keep your eyes out later tonight when I post this to my store, and you can scoop it up. Otherwise, it will be coming with me to my art show. And with any luck, it's going to be an amazing show. We will find out in a few days' time. The official show dates are Friday, Saturday, but Thursday's prep day. And I will need it to set up my space. Check in, register, whatever they need me to do is what I will be there to do. Make sure they don't give away my spot. They've got a wait list this year. And they're not kidding. If I don't show up on time, my spot won't be mine anymore. So, not that that's anything you guys need to worry about, but that's why Thursday is so important and why I will not be here. streaming anyway. Now, if you're in the North Dakota area and you're familiar with the big one, I will be at the big one in Minot. Don't ask me for the address, I don't actually know. That is a problem for Thursday. And Google. I've been once before, but it's been a while. Let's see, we can't just a little bit. Maybe add a little bit. I think that is working out delightful. Just that little bit of brightness right there. Be surprised what you think of. Of course, we're not trying to cover up every shadow. Per usual, we like our shadows. They're our friends. Do that a little bit here too. We don't know the history of each individual tree, why the branches grew the way it did. All we simply know is this is what it looks like. So this is what we've got. No two trees truly look identical. So, I probably ought to do a signature on here with not this dirty brush, but with a clean liner brush. Doobity doop Say that, but I'm probably about to use that same thin bluish black color. Sign my name over there. Oh, well, hello, Miss Melody. Winter's Wandering is a good title idea. Drop those title suggestions, guys. We are about done for today. Just shy of 9:15, not too bad. Bad for a Sunday evening painting stream. Tuck my palette off to the side. We're just gonna touch up that edge. Easy peasy. All right, come over here and do the same thing. So. I think we have a delightful little scene here. The time for titles, though, is drawing to a close. Not yet. I gotta sign it, date it, number it. Oh, good golly me. I wasn't ready for my own number. Painting I did on Thursday. I really want to say it was 119. It's hanging out on the wall. I can always go check. So, but first things first. Signature, date. It's April something. It's Sunday. Not that the Sunday part's actually helpful for this particular part. 119 sounds right. Can't believe I forgot there was a live tonight. I thought you weren't even going to be able to be here tonight. 119, right? I'm pretty sure it's 119, but I am probably going to double check. Yeah. But it is 4/6, so thank you. Oh. I've been saying my name so much today, I did the whole thing. A rarity in of itself. Four, 625. That's okay. It is still my painting. Gonna go double check that number though. Alright, those of you who said 119, including myself, we were all correct. It is 119. Looky-doo. We can count our numbers and pay attention to what we've been doing. Painting number 119. Fancy. We do gotta pick a title though. So, that is the next thing. So I will be scrolling past where the titles first started coming in, close my eyes, and then just randomly selecting one. Fall's Beauty from Odin. Pretty darn close to Autumn's Approach though, which also would have been a good title. Look at that. It's going to make that 119 a little bit more noticeable. Fall's Beauty pinned. Thank you. Such a pretty title. Fancy, fancy. Just send this on up. It's a good name, thank you. I think it's a delightful name. Yes, I have 2 mods. I mean, considering I haven't hardly been streaming for a couple months, I'd say that qualifies both you in the same category in terms of mods. You're both pretty new to it. So, although, while I'm sitting here looking at my painting, like you do, I did just notice easiest little bit I just need a little bit of water line. Oopsie doozy. It's okay though. It's a 2-second fix. Some brightness out there. If I have enough white on my brush. Palette knife. I always call this thing a brush. It is not. Regardless, it is done. I fixed it. I'll just have to clean my brushes here momentarily. It fits, thank you. So, but I will be back tomorrow. Because, yeah, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week. A little bit different than usual, but 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. 9 if you're on the East. I think people usually say 7 on the West Coast. So, yeah, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday this week. I will be off Thursday, which is out of the ordinary, but show stuff. So, thank you all for stopping in and hanging out while we paint a little mountain scene today. And we'll be back at it again tomorrow. Have a good night.